The alleged shooter of two National Guardsmen near the White House has been identified as 29-year-old Rahmanullah Lakanwal, who arrived in the US in 2021 during the US government's chaotic withdrawal from the region under Operation Allies Welcome, law enforcement sources told the New York Post. Lakanwal was allegedly lying in wait before turning the corner near the Farragut West metro station in northwest DC around 2:15 p.m. before opening fire at a female guard, shooting her in the chest and then in the head, according to law enforcement sources speaking to the Post. Lakanwal then struck the second guard, which prompted a third nearby guard to open fire 4 times on the 29-year-old, according to a report in the New York Post. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has announced an extra 500 National Guardsmen will be deployed to Washington, D.C. following a horrific shooting which left 2 guards in a critical condition.
Very productive meetings, but I want to start by saying after those meetings, myself and my team were notified that 2 National Guardsmen have been shot in Washington, D.C., critically wounded. The shooter shot in a cowardly, dastardly act targeting the best of America, heroes willing to serve in Washington, D.C., serve for people they don't know and they've never met because they love their country and their capital and their community. They were willing to do dangerous things others were not because they love their fellow Americans. Someone decided to turn that into targeting National Guardsmen. That will only stiffen our resolve. We will never back down. We will secure our capital. We will secure our cities. In fact, this happened just steps away from the White House. It will not stand. And that's why President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army to the National Guard, to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C. This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful. The drop in crime has been historic. The increase in safety and security has been historic. But if criminals want to conduct things like this, violence against America's best, we will never back down. President Trump will never back down. That's why the American people elected him.
Hegseth took direction from President Trump, who was resolute in ensuring the person who committed this act be brought to justice. Posting on Truth Social, the animal that shot the 2 National Guardsmen, with both being critically wounded and now in 2 separate hospitals, is also severely wounded, but regardless will pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. I, as the President of the United States and everyone associated with the office of the presidency, am with you. Information about the shooting is slowly coming out, with FBI Director Kash Patel describing it as brazen and heinous.
Since this is an assault on a federal law enforcement officer, this will be treated at the federal level as an assault on a federal law enforcement officer. The FBI will lead out on that mission with our interagency partners, to include the Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, ATF, DEA, and we're thankful for the mayor's assistance in this matter, the Metropolitan Police Department and their skills in investigating homicides and gun shootings in this city is exceptional. We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because it's a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House. We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice. I would lastly like to add to the American public and the world.
Congressman Carlos A. Gimenez went into more detail about what unfolded.
It's very hard to prevent. If it was a lone gunman, witnesses say he literally just walked towards the soldiers, pulled out a gun, and began shooting. That's impossible to prevent.
No, it really is. I mean, when I'm in D.C., I see the guardsmen. They have their rifles down. They're looking and they're trying to protect citizens. But if somebody comes right up to them and starts shooting, they don't have time to react.
Yeah.
And so it looks like this was premeditated, obviously, and for some motive. And we need to find out what that motive was, and then again react to. I don't want to say the things I may be thinking right now because it may stir some things up. Let's find out exactly what this guy was all about, and then react to it, and then say what we have to say.
And whilst the people of America are hoping and praying for a positive outcome for the victims, the mainstream media are already playing the blame game. Outspoken commentator Reverend Al Sharpton unleashed on Donald Trump on MS Now.
Matter of two people fighting for their lives, guardsmen, that this president put there. And as I said, I was one that was very vocal against that. But I'm not going to belittle the fact that their lives are at stake to get into a back and forth with the president. I can say that if I'm a member of their families, I don't want to hear what he's saying about Honduras right now. I want to pray that these two guardsmen who were ordered there and who we're being told by the mayor was ambushed, make it through. And all of this about sending in 500 people, what does that have to do with where we are now? I think that we've got to, those of us that have been opposed to the president's policy, show that we're not going to morally match him by going down to a level of insensitivity. There are two people fighting for their lives on Thanksgiving Eve. And it just seems ironic to me that people that pardoned people assaulting police officers are now talking about how they're going to uphold and look up to the people in the building. People in that building were beat January 6th